Look at us. Hey, look at us.
Look at us.
Huh?
Who would have thought?
Not me.
All right, we're going to make something very clear so we don't have to repeat it all year long. If you're watching live on YouTube, which you have to right now because it's the only way you can consume the pregame show, there's a thumbs up. That's the liking under the video. Then there's a little heart over in the chat. And if you hit the heart, that's not the like spike that everyone's calling for. Hit that like button, that thumbs up under the video. That'll help send it to know that we're trending more people. That's important. Hit the like. Give us a like spike.
Oh.
Now,
Yeah,
guess what? We have meaningful hockey. Let's start the pregame show.
Come on.
DLLS style. Yeah, look at this. DLS Stars Pregame Show. Game 1. Welcome inside our DLS Lounge studios. You
got it.
You got to stop playing with the mic right before the show. You should just don't touch it.
It's broken.
It's like anything delicate. Just leave it alone.
Am I good, Ryan? You can hear
We
me?
got
I'm
Craig
on the show.
Ludwig, Sam Nestler, who is once again having serious microphone problems. Our producer, Ryan Vaughters. I'm Owen Newkirk. We're thrilled to have you here for Game 1 of the Stars 25-26 season. Before we get into all the fun stuff, let's talk about two things. First, ball knower bonus. You guys have heard me talk about this a lot, but this week, one of the options in the ball knower bonus is the Dallas Cowboys against the Carolina Panthers. Who wins? So go to the website, click on merch, click on ball knower bonus link, pick, spend $25 or more, up to $250 in DLS merchandise. If you get it right, you win a gift card for the amount you spent. So you literally double your money. In addition to that, why not save some money by being a Diehard? Sign up for Diehard right now. Special is $36 a year. You get 20% off for merch, so you can get a discount on the Diehard annual subscription, discount on the merch, and then try to win the ball knower bonus. But you can get the regular, or you can, for $59, get that special branded Bills DLLS hat. Scan the QR code, go to alldls.com/intro for more. Lots of good deals here on DLLS. All right, let's get right into this. Luds, we start with the obvious. The season's finally here. This is Glenn Gulutzan 2.0. Expectations are sky high. It's literally Stanley Cup or bust for this team. Now, whether you actually win or not, we talked about this. It's really hard once you get in the playoffs to do it. So it doesn't mean it's a failure, but that's what the players are saying. And isn't that the way they should be approaching this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably 20 teams that are probably thinking that way of the 32. But yeah, I think you always want to set your sights to win a championship at the start of the year and keep that hope alive as long as you possibly can. But for Dallas, they've been knocking on the door for, 2, 3, 4 years now, and changes and a couple maybe a part missing yet, and so they got to string it out until they can do whatever they need to do, if they need to do anything. Maybe they don't do anything. Maybe this is just exactly what they need, and they kind of push each other. You get the goaltending. I mean, again, we're talking about some pretty damn good players on this team, starting with the goaltender.
Now, we have a bunch of clips I'm going to play from Glenn Gulutzan. Before we get into all that, Sam, the big thing he has been saying throughout camp, and he did again today in Winnipeg this morning, he's not trying to reinvent the wheel with this team.
Yeah, he understands the balance. The challenge of taking over this team was that it's not a rebuilding team. It's not a team that's even in the middle of the division or in the middle of these things. This is a cup contending team that's been so close 3 years in a row. So the challenge coming in, and we talked to him when he was on our show in the summer, is finding that balance in the correct way, because you do need to change some things. There's a reason this team has come up short. There's a reason this team has had its struggles in the playoffs, especially in the Western Conference Final. But there's also a reason they've been battling, if not winning, the Central Division, winning huge playoff series and finding ways to get to that Western Conference Final. So he's done a great job of tweaking just a few things here and there. I'm really excited to see what it looks like on the ice, because so far we've really liked the adjustments they're making. It should make for a more free-flowing type of game from this team.
All right, let's take a look at what we expect to see from this group tonight. the lines. So, as we expect, this is what was the morning skate lines. The same as yesterday's practice. It looks like the extra forward will indeed be Adam Ernie. And on the defensive side, we'll come right back to that, Ryan. Let's go to the defense real quick. Alex Petrovic looks like he's going to be the healthy scratch as they go with this three pairings. Jake Oettinger gets the start and goal. All right, go back to the forwards real quick, Ryan. Luds, we talked about this on the show, and there is some discussion about are these left wingers in their appropriate spots, but this is how they're going to at least start tonight.
Yeah, and they can all be tweaked. I mean, I think the biggest tweak or the first change, if there is one, would maybe robo up where Steele is, and if you want to load up the top line, but otherwise, I mean, apparently Blackwell's playing. He's got his brother there.
Yeah,
is he got a twin?
I just noticed
Blackwell got a twin on the team.
There's two Blackwells on our.
Well, he's playing a lot tonight
on our line chart.
I'm expecting him to be up around
And
35 to 40 minutes.
We even looked at it. For anyone looking, that is Maverick Bork on the right.
Yes,
on
Maverick
third
Bork should be with Johnson and Robertson, and I even proofed it and said, "Yeah, everything's spelled correctly."
It's the first game for us too.
You're
right?
over there yelling. Sam's mouthing Blackwell.
What are
you
the
talking
preseason
about?
games for before? What are they supposed to do?
It's supposed to get you
By
ready
the way,
for game one.
Ejecta Curtin, one of our new supporters club members, said that's a lot of Blackwell.
Yep.
Yep. Okay,
Probably
so
too much.
it will be Maverick Bork on there. But this is actually interesting because I'll play these clips.
He's all thrown off right now.
No, I'm not thrown off. It's just I'm about to rearrange the order of the clips I'm going to play, and I don't want to do that.
Happy about that.
So yeah, I don't want to mess Ryan up any further. So let me table that for a second.
This is why we run through producers.
Yeah, he just goes, "What are you doing to us?" All right, Luds, we talked about this defense, though. What do you expect to see really now? Again, we watched some stuff in preseason. Team defending with Glenn Gulutzan, with Alain Nasruddin still here. What's it going to look like now that we see real NHL hockey?
I'll be curious to see if we see much at all. You know, I don't. Gully said he's not going to reinvent the wheel here. It's been a pretty damn good team for a long time. I think that you're just going to see a little bit more responsibility from certain players, and I think in their own zone, it sounds like they're going to change that a little bit. And so you're going to, I believe you're going to find defensemen where they're supposed to be, and we're going to find forwards where they're supposed to be. There won't be as much. I don't want to call it chaos because it works for some teams, and it worked for Dallas too at times too. So I don't want to say chaos, but I think it's a simpler game. You don't have to chase people all over the ice, and that's going to happen from time to time. We saw even in the preseason games when you do this, when you play a system for a year, 2 years, 3 years, it's hard to get it out, and you don't just get it out overnight. This one here is a little bit more of you don't have to go running around a lot of places. Just be where you're supposed to be, and sometimes let things come to you.
Yeah, goalie talked about today, and he's said it multiple times, that this game and probably the first 10, 15 games at least are about them, right? About figuring out what they need to do, getting up to speed. And the big one that I've kind of learned from hearing him speak is the center and the defenseman is going to be the biggest adjustment.
They're supposed to work together.
Wings are going to play very similar kind of style. It's going to be the communication, the pass-offs from the center to the defense that'll be the adjustments. So if we see breakdowns early, that's probably where it comes from. But he said it's going to take time. So have a little bit of patience with that.
They were doing that in the 60s where the centerman worked down low with the defenseman. So trust me, I played then.
Let's hear from Glenn Gulutzan first. We have a bunch of different clips from him, but let's hear from, he was asked this morning about what he's preparing for the Jets, and he said, no, not focusing on the Jets tonight.
Everybody knows who the top teams are, and watched a little bit of Colorado last night. But I think the biggest thing for us, what we're focused on, is just our game, I think, and that's the one thing with having, a new coach and some new systems coming in, is it takes the focus away. Maybe they know the matchup, but I think we're more prepared to make sure that we're getting our game installed.
So, Luds, you always hear a coach, especially a new one, right? Remember last year, Pete DeBoer saying, boy, we're into deeper things because we don't have to reprogram the team with new systems. But they have to right now. There has to be some level of what they call a pre-scout, the meeting they talk about of the other team. It's not completely, like, I know his focus is the Stars, but there's got to be a little, hey, this is what we expect them to do. Keep an eye on this. Or is it game one really that much about, don't even worry about the Winnipeg Jets?
Well, you have to worry about every team that you play, but I think it's more these guys have all played against Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg Jets, if they got the same coach, they're not changing anything. They were the best team in the league last year. They're not changing anything. You know what you're getting from the Jets. They're missing 3-4 parts, but regardless, they're not going to change a lot. And I think for Dallas, they're just saying, we're going to play again. You want to play your style, and again, we go back to Sam was talking about how long it's going to take. I mean, the guy that won the Stanley Cup, I think he gave the number of 62 games like 3 years ago.
Yep.
That's how long it took them before he felt they clicked. So the changes, just because there were 4, 5, 6 preseason games, they're not implemented yet because you didn't have your roster in every single game. So now you're getting your roster for the most part, and now you're just going to watch and you're going to tweak things as you go, and you're going to correct things as you go. And, and again, they're going to want to play fast like they do, but I think they're just going to be subtle little things that we're going to notice.
On that note, Gully was saying they're really not setting a ton of what he calls early season team goals because they're trying to work this stuff in.
Like anybody else, you goal plan a little bit. I just don't do it early. I don't goal plan right away early, just because I think when you come out of camp, you have to live just in the moment and day to day and getting your game in order. And then there are some refocus points throughout the season that you can start to segment things and say, okay, the next 7 games, let's cue on our specialty teams, or let's cue on our record in the next 7 games, or something you can cue on to put the focus somewhere else. Right now, the focus is just on getting started, so I don't think they need anything. So I don't have, hey, would I love to start off 10-0? Yeah, absolutely. But there's no numerical number I have. I'm looking right now is day to day, because we're so new and fresh coming off the training camp and our systems. I'm just looking day to day.
Okay, so he's not saying you need 7 points in your first 10 games, or I should say, 15 points in your first 10 or 15 or whatever it is. But that doesn't last very long if things don't go well early. And this is a good team, so they should have pretty high expectations, even if he's not saying, I'm circling, these are our target goals that we have to hit during the first 2 weeks of the season.
I honestly think that he realizes that he doesn't have to stress that because it's coming from inside the room. He knows these guys, been knocking on the door. He knows they want to be a little bit better and they want to tighten some things up, and they know the expectations from the outside, from the media, from the press, and everybody that picks them to finish, a certain spot all year long. But again, it starts in the room, and they've been going through this for a few years now, so they're used to this right now.
All right, so we saw Blackwell and Steele. Blackwell was all over the lineup, and let's hear. He was asked yesterday, Sam, you were there, about Blackwell and Steele playing up the lineup in the top 6 right now.
Yeah, I just think that when you get those kind of guys, you don't want them to try to join the parade in the offense, all of it. You want them to do some of the dirty work, get pucks back, get to the net a little bit more, be a little bit of a retriever, right? Keep things alive, and bring energy. And but in saying that job, you have to have enough skill to do that in those top lines, and they both do. So I just think that with Jamie out, we're going to community coverage some pieces and move some pieces around. But I like what those guys can bring there for sure. They bring energy. They can get pucks back and keep plays alive.
And Sam, that's the interesting part. Community sort of coverage, because they're not just missing Jamie Benn. They're missing Oscar Beck. They're also missing Mikhail Granlund. Evgeny Dodonov can play both sides. Mason Marchment. Those are 5 potential players. Now, 3 of them aren't coming back.
Yep.
The other 2 are hurt, and we'll see on Beck how long he's out. Jamie, again, 2 to 4 weeks, maybe. We just don't know. But this is a huge part. The biggest hole on this team right now is the left side of their forward group.
Yeah, and it seems like they're, instead of going with let's try to find a replacement, they're trying a whole different approach, right? Glenn Gulutzan's done this. He talked about it in the summer that he was going to try it, putting those kind of grittier puck retrieval kind of guys on each line, and that's how he's running it right now. So it's going to be interesting how long that goes. If some of the top guys, let's say the top line's not scoring with Sam Steele on it, is his leash 3 games? Is it a quick switch with Robo and midway through game 1 tonight? That's going to be what's to watch here, because there's going to be shuffling. They're not going to find the answer right away for those holes.
All right, up next, I want to show you guys the other thing. Why is Jason Robertson not on the top line? Why is he playing with Wyatt Johnston? We're going to hear from Glenn Gulutzan about that next here on the DLLS Stars Pregame Show.
Our latest Diehard sale is in full swing, and fans now have 2 ways to join. You can get in for just $36 with a limited edition shirt, or you can step up and grab a limited branded Bills Diehard hat for $59 before they sell out. Maybe you've had your eyes on one of our great t-shirts like the Finnish Mafia, the Otter shirt, maybe a 16-bit Wyatt Johnston shirt, or the Mikko Moose shirt. You can pick whichever one you want as your free t-shirt when you sign up to be a Diehard. Or go bigger and get your hands on the Brandon Bills Diehard hat. Those hats are limited, though. Once they're gone, they're gone. Either way, you get all the Diehard perks. Premium content, including excellent written articles about the Stars, Cowboys, Mavs, and Rangers, event and merch discounts, the members-only Discord, and more. Join now and become a Diehard at alldlls.com/intro.
Let me kick you.
Why don't you go ahead?
Let me kick you a scenario here.
Kick me a scenario.
Let's say you're a diehard and you're thinking, man, there's got to be more. There's got to be more I can do to get involved with DLS.
Well, what would I do?
You could join the Supporters Club. YouTube Supporters
tell me
Club
about it.
is for the real ones only, true sicko level stuff. We're looking at people like Ardell and T.O. You know who you are. But there's plenty more in our chat because you can see them because of the custom badges that come when you join the Supporters Club. You guys will pop in the chat so we can see your questions. We can see your comments. Everyone else can see them right away. And when we start rolling with lots of people chatting in and super chats and everything, yours will stand out. So we make sure you get your comment or question on the show. You also get custom emojis. You can see a bunch of them there. The Bing Bong was one of the first we saw. We have apparently a Craig Ludwig emoji for the super chat
and
for the
a Stanley
Supporters Club.
Cone.
A Stanley Cone is making an appearance. We got beer mugs. We got all kinds of stuff. It's a fun way to do it. Plus, you get some exclusive behind-the-scene videos as well. So join the Supporters Club now.
We have 3 super chats already in the pregame show. Our fans are fired up.
Are they positive?
Should we hit them now?
I think we should hit them now before we get into the gully stuff again, because I have a couple more to do on that. So let's go to the first one. Speaking of positive, this is a little bit of a jab from Anthony. This is it's still a Brendan Smith because we don't have a number 2 right now, do we? Right?
No.
So Brendan Smith
Johnny
and Year After
Hockeypaw.
the Cup. Anthony says, back for another year with my favorite Vegas Golden Knights fans. Nice reference to the fact that we pretty much all picked the Golden Knights to win the Stanley Cup in our predictions, except for Sean, who had them losing to the Panthers.
Yep.
Thank you, Anthony. We are all very
Happy
much
to be back.
supporting the Golden Knights. All right, next one is from Socially Distant, a Heiskanen 99 Cup year. The road to 98-0 starts in 30 minutes. Let's do that hockey. I think they could lose 1 or 2 during the regular season, but maybe 16-0 in the
It took
playoffs
me a
would be
minute to
nice.
figure out what
Keep 'em
98
grounded.
mean. Yeah.
Yes, keep them grounded, right?
97-1.
Yeah, you don't want to go undefeated the entire season. That's not good. And then we have one more.
Bing bong.
Cali Stars Joker, a Madonna and 99 Cup year. Get Luds a brew. He deserves it. Trying to find a Luds jersey. Any help? They're out there.
Are they?
I've seen him.
Are
I've
they?
seen him at the AAC.
Really?
How many do you have?
Actually, I've given quite a few away, honestly. I don't have many.
Let me get one. I don't have to tape over Yoel Lundqvist's name to be.
All right, let's talk about Jason Robertson playing with Wyatt Johnston for a minute. Then we'll get into the Winnipeg Jets in a few minutes. Gully was asked about it. Why are they together as a pair? What's the thinking there of putting those two together? And he had a very interesting answer.
I'm not so sure what I like about it, what I like the idea about it, because now we're going to see it in real time. When you have players with that high of hockey IQ, my history has been you put them together, they make it work just because they're playing with here. They're cerebral players. And any of the teams that I've been on over the last 12 years, you take 2 smart players and put them together, they usually make things happen. And that's what I like about those two.
What do you think about
Why
that?
not?
High
Well,
hockey IQ players, they usually figure it out.
Yeah, it makes sense. And they get back to the bench and they got their little iPads and they
Yeah.
talk about it. And they've been talking about it for weeks. But, for me, one of the reasons I'm okay with Robo playing there, I can see Robo going up, obviously, with Hintz and Rennan. But I think with the speed of Bork and the speed of Wyatt, and with Bork playing more in straight lines and Wyatt kind of jigs his way up and through the middle of the ice, Robo likes coming in late. I mean, he's not going to keep up with those 2 guys. So what happens is those 2 guys will push people off of the offensive blue line as the Stars are entering the zone. And so there'll be a pocket in there where, when Robo can get the puck around the top of the circle and have a little bit of space to whether he makes a play or whatever it is, but one of his biggest strengths is that shot of his. So if he gets in that area, and those two guys, especially Wyatt will be the one I think will find him more than Maverick will, because I think Maverick will be the guy that's driving more to the net. And I think it opens things up for Robo, and because it's very similar to what I think Hintz does for him also.
Yeah, I was going to say you've been adamant about Hintz.
I love that.
That's the biggest reason it works. But the thing that interested me yesterday when I told you about this comment from Gulutzan is I said the two cerebral players of Johnston and Robo, and you said, what about Mikko? You're saying he's not a hockey IQ guy. So why is that just kind of a...
No, I don't know why he doesn't have him on that line. Personally, I think Mikko makes more and better passes to get the puck to Robo, because and it's not taking anything away from Maverick, but I don't think Maverick can make the same kind of passes that Rantanen can make.
I don't think that takes much away.
No, but you know what I'm saying. So that's why I can see if it doesn't work or it's not clicking correctly or the way Gully sees it, it'll be an easy flip flop.
Yeah.
To just move Steele and Robo around.
One more clip for you. This was an interesting one where Gully compared the beginning of the regular season to the beginning of the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, we've been practicing. That was one of the things. Is you got to practice the way you play, and we know how quick Colorado is. You watched the games last night. I just said to the guys this morning, I said, you can't duplicate the playoffs. But if you ever wanted to duplicate the first round of the playoffs, it's probably in the first 10, 15 days of your season. Lots of freshness, lots of chaos, lots of energy in the games. It's kind of like the first round, right? So we just wanted to prepare them for that. We got to play with some energy, but we also got to have our hockey IQ going.
I thought that was an interesting answer to, do you expect the game to be very high-paced? And it looks like in practice you're asking the players to continue to play fast.
Listen, I think all the time the first 5, 6, 7 games of the regular season are a little mishmash. I mean, I don't think everybody's connected the way that they normally are, but it's on both sides. So it ends up being where there's quality scoring chances.
Mm-hmm.
You'll love games like this.
I
right?
would.
Because I don't think that everybody's got their correct coverage,
I
and they're
agree.
not up to speed with each other, and they're on different lines, and so there seems to be more like, what happened right there, and then things will tighten up as the season moves along.
Quick welcome to Brett M., who just signed up to the Supporters Club.
Welcome,
well
Brett.
done, and all the others that have. All right, let's talk about. All right, one more thing, and then we got to do Winnipeg Jets. Luds, Sam, what do you think the biggest differences will be with the Stars' power play under Glenn Gulutzan and Neil Graham? A lot of the same personnel. Are you expecting to see much differences?
Big ones for me are he's going to rotate Miro and Harley. They're both going to get chances. I don't know if that's on a per game basis or rotating, a couple games and then giving them shots, but they're both going to play with power play 1, and they're both going to play with power play 2. The other thing that I've seen a bunch of, and I've mentioned the word freedom, right? Free. Hockey IQ, use your hockey sense. That's been a theme all training camp. That I think will show itself on the power play. I think that this team could get a little rigid at times under previous coaching staffs. And I don't know if that's because of the coaches or just maybe the way they played. It was a little tighter. But I think we'll see more Mikko Rantanen making a play. Wyatt Johnston scoring sharp angle goals. Things that show the elite talent of the players that are on the ice.
Ad-libbing. You're not following X's and O's, and you be there. Goes back to Gully's comment about hockey IQ, because now all of a sudden when you look at especially that first unit, there's a lot of hockey IQ back there. Whether the only difference for me is always with Miro and Thomas, because they approach it a little bit differently. Obviously, Harley's a little bit shooter. The other thing that I think it won't take as long to make some adjustments. Like if the entry doesn't work, they're going to change something there, and if there's little things inside the zone, I think they're going to be a little bit quicker to just make little tweaks.
Not just going to be married to the drop pass entry all the time.
Well, I thought that too, and as I was watching through the preseason, I mean, they used it quite a bit. And again, if it's working, then use it. But when an opponent starts taking certain things away, you're not going to wait until the next time you play them to change it. You'll probably change it by the middle of the second period.
All right, let's talk about the Jets. We didn't save a lot of time for it, but we have a lot of things to talk about for the Stars. Jets have lost several players. Let's take a look at their lineup expected tonight, because Nikolai Ehlers is gone, Brandon Tanev is gone, Mason Appleton is gone. They're also missing Adam Lowry, who's out because he had hip surgery after the playoffs. Dylan Sandberg suffered a broken wrist in preseason. And Cole Perfetti is week to week with an ankle injury, which means, how do you fill in for that? Well, they signed Gus Nyquist. They signed Jonathan Toews. That's a huge one. He's 37 now, hasn't played a game in over 2 years in the NHL. He's playing for his hometown team. And then they've got this 22-year-old Nikita Chibrikov, who had a great start to his career in the first 2 years in the AHL. He's played 5 games in the NHL with Winnipeg. He scored in each of his first 3 NHL games. First player in Jets history to ever do that. But then he suffered a knee injury in January. He's healthy now. When you guys look at this, there's a lot of familiar names. Tanner Pearson's new. What do you think about this group compared to what we saw in the second round of the playoffs?
It's not super deep as of now. I know they have injuries, and it's
Lowry and Perfetti help with that.
Yeah, that changes it a lot. But the one I know that it's going to be obvious. But Jonathan Toews, I mean, what a difference it makes if he's anywhere near the Jonathan Toews we remember.
Buzz, do you think he will be?
He won't be. No,
but I'm saying even if he's 70%
even if he was healthy,
of it,
he wouldn't be like that. He's coming back from an injury, and I'm not saying he's pushing himself back because Lowry's out, but I think the leadership and everything else, and I've heard guys talk about it, when he walks into that room, you would think with the guys how much winning they've done with that organization, but apparently when Toews comes walking in the room, there's something just about him. And there should be, because he's won 3 Stanley Cups and he's going to the Hall of Fame. But he's not the same guy. Even if you listen to Toews talk in his own interviews, he's down on himself because he's got a certain standard he wants to live up to. I think a big miss for them is Sandberg. I think that he's a good defenseman back there. There's going to be more space out there. Lowry takes up big space. He plays a heavy game. So they're going to miss Lowry and they're going to miss Sandberg. And so I think that we will see more passing lanes available that we don't see when they're the team last year.
Check out their defense and goaltending for tonight. Obviously, Hellebucyk and net. Logan Stanley checks in because Dylan Sandberg is out of the lineup, Bloods.
Well, I like Stanley. I think, I mean, he understands what he is, and I think he's more mobile than he was
he's a big
couple of years ago. Oh, he's huge. And so is Shen. So that's a heavy pair right there. And so who's ever going up against them, expect to get hit. But I think if Gully can flip out there some quickness, and I think you could take advantage of those 2 guys there. The other guy is Morrissey. He drives the bus for the guys back there. I mean, he's not a big guy, but man, from his end down to the other end, he's that guy that breaks pucks out. Well, I guess I've got a picture up there for him.
Yes, you do.
I didn't see that. But anyway, there's a guy that every time you get an opportunity, you finish your checks on him.
Like
you make it hard on him the whole night.
Yeah.
This is like round 2 again, isn't it, Sam?
It'd be interesting to watch Hellebuck and see if he's anywhere near what he was.
Well, just the way that it feels like we just got done playing these guys, which we did. But all that playoff stuff is still there right now. Like start right from where you left off
in their building,
from a physical presence,
right?
Yeah.
They only lost 1 of the 3 games at home, and that was enough, right? It was the Stars got 1 in Winnipeg. They won their home games. They win the series. So Sam, big storyline.
Yes.
Kyle Connor a couple days ago, 8-year contract, $96 million, $12 million AAV. We were talking about players waiting to see what happened. Kaprizov, McDavid, and all of a sudden, these other contracts are starting to come out.
Yeah, and I think we're going to start seeing that more. We're going to start seeing conversations pick up with guys that we know, the Robertsons and those guys that are in similar type of areas. The interesting part of it is that no one really knows what the numbers are because it was the huge 17. Now all of a sudden it's like, well, maybe David's only going to take 12.5. Kyle Connor's only making 12. What is this market actually? And that's going to be interesting to see. But for Kyle Connor as a player, I don't think he's underrated anymore, but he was one of those guys that you're like, how do more people not talk about this guy? He's an elite goal scorer, such a fast skater. He's someone you have to watch at all times, and he's hurt Dallas plenty in his career.
He obviously wanted to stay in Winnipeg because there's no question he could have got more money. But when you look at what he's done in his career, he's real close to a point-per-game guy. I mean, he's played 613 games. He's like 580-some points, but he's a goal scorer. He gets you since he came into the league, his very first stint was like 20 games. He had 2 goals. But ever since then, every year except one, he's 30-plus, like 30, 35, 40 goals. That's what he does.
Sorry, that was literally GM Ben in the chat demanding that Ryan play that drop right now.
That one or the
I'd like to hear the other one.
Do
the
we have
Bloods one?
Well, I didn't say that. I just thought you were.
Buck. Hellebuck, buck.
All right, guys, we have very few seconds left. we'll probably talk about it more of whether Kyle Connor's contract, how much it affects what maybe Jason Robertson will get as it keeps changing. Who scores the first Stars goal tonight?
Oh, boy.
First of the season for the Dallas Stars. Who are you going to pick? They've been through the chat. I asked them.
91.
You're saying Sagan. Buds?
I'm going money. Brandon.
I
The
like
Moose.
that too. I really want to say Maverick Bork because I just have a feeling this kid's going to get off to a good start, but I'm going with the guy that I get accused of stumping for a bit too much, Jason Robertson. It's my pick. Ryan, who's your pick?
Sam Steele.
Ooh, the Man of Steel.
Love it.
That was the first guy on the list that he saw at top left winger.
I should have
He
said
just looked at that board. It's the first name he
Blackwell's
saw.
playing on 2
I
lines,
was
so
going
he's
to
got a good
beat me
chance.
to it. Go with Colin Blackwell.
At
He'll
least
be
he
on
got
the
the
ice
first name
twice
right.
as much. All right, thanks very much for joining us for the pregame show. Great stuff from everybody. You know this is just the beginning.
We're
Number
back.
1 of 82. We'll be here for the full postgame show right afterwards. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends. We got a lot of people watching now. We'd love to see even more here on DLLS.
I
Enjoy the
believe
game.
that they are going to crush these guys tonight.
Yeah!
We all silly like the mayor.